Hey, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexander, and I'm a guitarist, composer, and overall music nerd from Denmark. In this video, we're building a massive sounding high-gain rhythm tone using one of the most underused amps in the Line6 Helix, the Angel Meteor, which is of course the Engel Fireball. Let's go. Alright, so before we dive into Helix Edit, so I can show you exactly how I built the tone, let's have a listen to it in this short demo. Enjoy. Well. Welcome back to Helix Edit. We are walking through this tone in good orderly fashion, as always. As you can see on the screen, it's a fairly basic tone. This is actually similar to a pack or a series of packs that I just produced over the last few weeks or month, maybe. I don't know. Time with a little child is a little weird. So I did a tone in the same style, and I actually discovered a bunch of new things in the Helix that I didn't used to do before. I haven't used the Angel Meteor or the Engel Fireball, which is it's based on, since I was a Pod HD 500 user. Then it was my favorite amp. But in the Helix, I never used it. But that's a shame on me because it sounds awesome. If you're still here, it's because you enjoyed the demo and you're probably eager to figure out what I did. Because it doesn't sound very impressive out of the box. This is just the amp and the self-captured IR I did of an Engel cap, 4x12 Engel cap, by the way, with Celestion V30s in it, super standard. It sounds like this. Not super impressive, very low indie and stuff like that, but we can of course fix that. These are the settings for the amp. Nothing special here that I'm not usually doing. Of course, with modern metal high gain stuff tones, we usually pull the ripple, the hum, and the sag all the way off because we want a more modern, polished tone. But for this instance, I thought that the Engel could use a bit of, I'm doing this in air quotes, a bit of analog noise, basically, right? And I think it actually worked out. It's not super dramatic or anything. It's very subtle, but I think it gave some life to the tone having these settings on here. I also dialed the bias X and the bias back a little bit from what I usually do. I usually do 6.5 or 6 or 6.5 in bias X and around 6 or 7 in the bias. But I just used my ears this time around, and it sounded great. The mid boost is on, and the rest is basically to taste, right? I'm on my fast guitars Roamer, and it has the Alpha Omega pickups in the Seymour Duncan Alpha Omega. So it's tweaked based on those, right? So if you have EMGs, you might make some different moves here. This is for the kind of subtle changes later on when we go to the EQ blocks. That is where most of the magic happens. Okay, so input gate is on. You can of course shove a noise gate in there if you wanted to as well. But all we have in front is of course the good old Horizon drive. So we go from this to this. Right, it makes all of the difference in the world. To this. Drive all the way off, attack to 4, depending on your taste. 3 could also do it. 5 is a bit aggressive to me, and I never dared to go to 6. And I like bright rhythm tones, if you didn't know, so the bright knob is at 6. These pickups are also very dark sounding. I'm actually not very fond of them, but it just makes me turn the bright knob pretty high sometimes. Also, if you noticed, both the presence and the treble on the amp is also fairly aggressive. So if you find it very hissy and very high-endy, good places to look. So we have that. I skipped the IRR block entirely. It's super standard as well. Low cut at 120 and a fairly aggressive high cut at 7.5. Usually I go around 8K or 9K, but probably because I boosted the treble and the presence and the bright knob on the Horizon drive, I had to cut it a little harder, my bad. But see how it sounds. Some people go all the way down to 6. It's not a super brick wall type EQ on the cap block. It's very gradual, so you can actually go pretty far before you start losing a lot of the high end, right? But sounds great already. Then after the cap, we have a 3-band compressor, also a new trick, or not new. I haven't done it for ages, but it makes it go from this to this. Right. So other than the enormous volume dip that you probably hear, we could of course remove that by not dropping the level, but for the demo that I built it on, I think I just panicked and cut the volume here instead of course doing it in the end or on the fader, so you will have to live with that. As you can see, it's not doing a lot, but it's doing a little bit. And it's a new thing that I started doing again because it sounds awesome. So what we're doing is that we are compressing with a 2-to-1 ratio. We are dipping the volume a little bit. I'm sorry. We're cutting the lows because in the beginning, even with the drive pedal on, still a little too much rumbly low end. So we're compressing and decreasing the low gain a little bit, and then we are simply tweaking the threshold of the mid gain to taste. Try messing around with it if it doesn't sound exactly how you want it by itself. And that's basically it. I don't know why the high gain is boosted, because it doesn't do anything on the threshold. If you want more high end, you can go about doing it there. Then lastly, the heavy lifting of it all. Now we're here. We have the Kelly EQ. It just makes everything better, right? Now that we take it off, it sounds like we have a blanket over the tone. It sounds kind of muffled, and but then suddenly it comes forward, it becomes clear, we get clarity, we get to hear all of the good stuff, and some of the bad stuff seems to disappear. But we're not really cutting anything, you'll notice. We're actually only boosting, right? There's a lot of 750 Hz, and there's quite a bit of 6.6K as well, and the others are boosted by 0.6, very subtle, right? But it's a thing that I've gone back to as well. I used to do this a lot back in the days, but nowadays I mostly use the parametric or the tilt or the shelf. I've been using quite a lot, but I thought I would give it a go, and it actually got some cool cool stuff to offer, I think, as long as you don't go crazy with it. I rarely go over 2.5 dB in the boost. So that's my quick and dirty guide to the calligraphic EQ. Then lastly, we've done this a million times, the dynamic room. All stock settings, but the mix is turned down to 10%. So that is it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope that you picked up some cool tricks in the tutorial that you can use for your next Helix preset. Remember to swing by the website to grab the free Helix preset and free IR for this exact tone. Also, while you're there, you can grab my free, newly updated Helix sample pack as well as my impulse response pack. They're all totally free, and I hope that you will make some massive tones with them. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, throw a comment down below. Could be about anything, a video suggestion, trashing my English, trashing the tone, whatever. You could also just say what's up. It's all much appreciated. That is all for this time. Have a great life or a great day or a great week or whatever. And I'll see you in the next one. May you get sick ass tones.